Good afternoon, class. Have you ever wondered what it meant to be the very best that no one ever was? Today I'll be talking about Pokemon and the mega franchise that has become Pokemania and some of the controversies that happened over the years. Okay. From Funk and Ragnar's new encyclopedia, Pokemon is a series of electronic games in which players capture futuristic Pokemon, train them and command them to duel. When the creatures are not fighting, the game character keeps them in capsule inside balls. Pokemon was originally called Pocket Monsters, was developed in 1989 by Satoshi Tajiri. Tajiri, who grew up in Matsuda, Tokyo, enjoyed catching small insect creatures and other small animals in the surrounding Lakeshore field, which I think looks beautiful. He would grow up and eventually publish his own gaming magazine called Game Freak, but would later fold in the late 1980s. But his magazine was solidified him as a well-known journalist in the gaming industry. With his new status, Jerry would later start his own developmental company called Game Freak. Using memories of his childhood, including a show called Ultra 7 and some toys called Gashapon vending machine toys. Jerry would use these inspirations to develop his game. Although it would take a while, because most of the staff didn't know from the RPGs or how to write games. They would have to design and vote which creatures will be Pokemon, which ones won't. And then, of course, it was low budget. They would have to design other games before they finally came to this one. But eventually, Pocket Monsters Red and Green finally was finished in December of '95 and published in February of '96 in Japan. They were kind of worried that it would, that it wasn't going to be as big because at the time Game Boy was it's not dying out a bit. But at the same time, Japan released what's called the Pokemon Pocket, Game Boy Pocket, which came out at the same time. People thought they were doing it as a thing, but it ended up working out for them. Increased sales and became a successful hit, which would lead to them developing a trading card game immediately after in October of 1996. Now at this point, some of you are wondering, well, if Pokemon came out in '96, why does the official website say Pokemon Red and Blue came out in '98? That was because Tajiri wanted Pokemon games to be exclusive to Japan. But Nintendo America saw the potential and wanted to bring it to the States. That's when Pokemon Mania ensued. The overseas show has already gained traction and there seemed to be no solid. According to Time Magazine, there were Pokemon Mania, November '99 issue. Swelling profits and American conglomerates have okayed up and cashed in. Hasbro paid $325 million to market the toys, whereas WB was swept up the exclusive rights to its TV shows having overseas. Warner Brothers would also get the rights for the movie, which also was coming out at the time. Which opened up and saw thousands of children calling in sick that day. With the Pokeflu. They would give out 2 free cards, which are too rare for the Mewtwo and Mew card, for anybody who bought tickets. Meanwhile, Burger King in California and Texas were on a toy surge for their Pokemon giveaways, you know, scores of children in tears. I actually got some of those Happy Meals, those Burger King Happy Meals. But not the cards. The cards were way more expensive. They were like $50 a gold card. Yeah, you can still find them like on eBay and stuff like that. Pokemon was in full effect and kids everywhere loved them. On t-shirts, you begging, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing them. At the center of it all was the card game. Kids will spend their allowance from their parents in order to do what the slogan says, gotta catch them all. Kids would spend their recess with friends and classmates trading, arguing which Pokemon were best, or who had the most cards. But some may argue that Pokemania had its downsides, as some schools banned the cards because kids would rather sit and play than eat. Some kids who didn't understand the phenomenon or didn't have any cards were left out, and they weren't even part of the group anymore. And it even created some delinquent behavior in the youth. I had to research this one up. It is actually a true story. A 6-year-old once printed fake Pokemon cards at school and traded them with classmates. Many kids, as well as those, still collect the cards today, but more are careful and just teach lessons that they learned over the years. And so, or you keep them in pristine condition. Now comes the part of the Pokemania story that most people will know. But the success of the game was only a matter of time before the idea of the show would come. And April 1st, 1997, Pokemon the anime series which will later be subtitled the Indigo League, will make its debut a year later and will be redubbed and brought to the States in September 8th of 1998. The show called Ash Ketchum of Palatine, who at the age of 10 decided to get his Pokemon license and go off to become a Pokemon Master. And unlike the game, Ash can get to choose the main three characters, the main three starters, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. Would end up with the shows and basically company mascot Pikachu. He would then be later by Misty and Brock on his adventures of traveling the world of Pokemon and competing in multiple tournaments. Throughout Ash's adventures, he was constantly attacked by Team Rocket. The Indigo League episodes were massive success and garnered in a huge following. It is also credited as being the reason why anime has become more popular and familiar, especially in the U.S. Now, there are a few episodes that they made overseas but never aired here, and they were pulled from then eventually they just pulled them over there. And these are the 4 ones that you'll never find in the States, which is the Beauty and the Beach, episode 18, Dragon Kini, episode 35, Electric Soldier Polygon, 38, and Poly Hijinks, number 65. Verse 1 was too sexually suggestive. The episode was initially banned because James of Team Rocket was cross-dressing and had inflatable boobs, and yeah, the WB decided they didn't want it. That is the only picture I could find. That is the only episode. The next episode was also banned because Jesse James and the game warden in the episode, the group goes to what's called a Poke Safari, where you catch Pokemon that are hard to find. While they're there, throughout the episodes, they used guns, and even the game warden even points a gun at Ash. Talk about protection, yeah. This would also cause a continuity error because the episode 4, so this episode and the other one were both in the Safari, but since this one was banned, you see them in the Safari, then they just cut through the film, just walking out. So you won't miss that whole middle part of the episode. The next one was this episode was the Polygon episode. It was, well, this one hasn't even brought to the States. This one actually has been banned altogether because it caused a wave of seizures when the episode first came on. The kids, viewers were watching and all of a sudden some kids went into seizures, and some came into like a blank state. And found out that the reason why is because when an explosion happened in the background, the red and blue filters would go flashing back and forth. And yeah, so this one hasn't even made it. And then the last one was the Holiday Hijinks episode. On January 2000, African-American author and critic Carol Weatherford wrote to the Alabama newspaper about this episode. I'm not going to explain why, but once you see why the Pokemon, that's the reason why the Pokemon was now, they re-edited the Pokemon and now it's purple instead of black, and yeah. The Pokemon was taking that face. So they since then already designed it now it's a purple Pokemon. Yeah. Today, Pokemon is still going strong and is considered one of the most recognizable franchises of all time. With an estimated 300 million games sold, there are currently 122 core and spin-off games, 23 animated films, plus one live-action film, Detective Pikachu, which is coming out next year at the sequel, I believe they said. 9,110 English set cards. So Japan has their own set of cards, but they actually have a little more than we do. And there are currently now 1,015 Pokemon. And in collaboration with, in 2019, with Nautic, Pokemon Go was released with over 1 billion downloads. Since its debut in 1997, Pokemon the TV series is still going on after 25 seasons. There are now 1,234 episodes. And after 25 years of battling other trainers, 41 gym badge victories, and saving the world multiple times and seeing rare Pokemon, Ash Ketchum finally won the World Pokemon Tournament, becoming Pokemon Trainer #1. In the 25th episode, 25th season of 18th episode. And after 25 years of experience and still being 10 years old, the world finally said goodbye to Ash Ketchum and Pikachu as the series will continue with its 2 new leads. For those who are part of Pokemania, we still have yet to see what these 2 new trainers do or what the new Pokemon take us. I just want to thank you guys for listening to my speech, and I hope you enjoyed it.
That's a little background jam going on. Okay, you Pokemon people, how many in here play? Over half? Ooh, all right. I am totally clueless. Oh, I have it on tape.